Sure. Okay, guys. Elia, Ubos, we are back. New week, new video, new content. In this week's video, we are shifting a bit slightly from the finance side of this channel to the second leg of this channel, which is psychology content. So in today's video, I'm gonna break down something that I actually found fascinating on my journey of just trying to understand psychology, which I said like in the past 2 or 3 years. So I came across something called a negative thought loop. So I'm gonna explain in this video what a negative thought loop is by giving like background information, and then I'm further gonna go into what a negative thought loop can bring in your life, or what void it can cause in your life. And also I'm gonna touch on to sorry, I have some notes that I have to look at here. So I'm gonna touch on what to do when you experience yourself. I mean, when you experience this negative thought loop, and eventually I'm gonna touch on how you can let go, or how you can break the negative thought loop, which I call a transport system of negative thoughts. So again, before I just go forward, I'm gonna be looking out of camera because I have so much notes around me that I'll be referring to here and there. So yes, negative thought loop. So sometimes we get frustrated when things are not going right in our life, and sometimes we get disturbed by the smallest things. It can be that somebody made comments that may not come off well, or something going wrong at work, or getting a minor injury that can sort of like disturb your normal routine. And just on that, I know everybody knows that feeling, and before you know it, when you are in that feeling, you start questioning everything around you. It can be your health, your career, your relationships with people, um, and then you try to do everything in your power to try and fix those things, and you feel so compelled when you try to address this disturbance. But here's the thing: we don't control the disturbance, and that frustrates us even more. Now that you're getting sucked in this negative thought loop, at this point, something that started so small, it can become a big problem in your life. And you feel like quitting your job, quitting your relationships, you know, you feel like everything works against you, and that nothing is worth it. That's a negative thought loop. I mean, like most of us actually have experienced this, and man, it's not a good experience, you know. But it all boils down to control, you know. It boils down to how you control your thinking process, how you control thoughts that come into your mind. So we think, or most often we think that life should be a certain way, and in other words, we want everything to work within. I mean, to work out how we planned it in our mind, but it doesn't work out like that, because life is not about how we planned it in our minds. So, and if it doesn't work out like we want it to work out, now we start developing the negative thought loop that I was talking about. So, and most of the times, this negative thought loop happens when something comes to an end, you know. So, it can be, again, a job, or a relationship, or losing a loved one, you know, losing a friend, a friendship, you know. So what that does now, it creates this void in your life. So just to take it a step further, everything in life comes to an end, you know. We have to understand that our jobs, business relationships, career, relationships, so it's friendship, and all these things, when they come to an end, they create this little, I would like to call it a little death within us. And the first thing that we do when this little death happens inside of us, we try to fix it by replacing it with anything that's at our disposal. So, for example, if let's say you lost your job, you would want you would do something like, okay, nah, it's fine. I'm gonna be at home, spend more time with my family, and yeah, that's gonna give me some therapy from, you know, this job. But the truth is, you need a job. You need to replace the job with a job. You cannot replace your job with spending more time with family, because we all know what a job can bring in your life, you know. So again, it can go as far as relationships, you know. Sometimes you lose the relationship. Now you're like, okay, now I have more time to focus on my work, and and all that. Or you start setting new goals, because you have this so much time now on your hands. And the danger of all this is that I always want to put it as, you are replacing apples with oranges, whereby we're supposed to replace apples with apples. So now when you replace an apple with an orange, you are setting a very weak foundation. So in cases when something even small comes through and touches you, you're gonna be shaken, because why? The foundation that you've built is weak. You've constantly tried to run away from facing the reality and addressing it. It's not the easiest thing to address it, by the way, but we should always strive to address things that are not right in our life and replacing them with the right things. You know, you cannot maintain, sorry, you cannot maintain a car. Let's say you are replacing the tires. You can't replace a tire with something else that's not a tire. It's not gonna work, you know. Or maybe replacing it with a wheelbarrow tire. Yes, it's gonna take you only so far. So maybe you can only drive at a certain speed. If you increase that speed, or if you go a longer distance, this tire is not gonna make it. So that's why I'm talking about your foundation being shaken when you don't replace the void with the right things. So yes. Also, the other thing is, you should understand that everything has its place, which is, again, going back to replacing the right things with the right things. You can't replace, again, a job loss with spending more time with family. Yes, it can only go as far as maybe a month or so, but you need to get the job. You need to be going at work. You know? So that's just the nature of it. It's not rocket science. So just in concluding of this video, we're gonna get to letting go of the negative thought loop. So what to do for us to let go of the negative thought. I mean, hey, not what to do, but how to let go of the negative thought loop. And again, it's very simple. It's black and white. You have two things. It's either you let go or you don't. So I once upon a time I read a story of a man who was convicted for a crime that he didn't commit, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. So he had to find it within him to let go of the mistakes that maybe the judge or whoever sentenced him made, or to forgive maybe the defense lawyer, or not the defense, but the state lawyer who came with this case and got it right from their side, while in essence it was a wrong case. So as much as he was frustrated from the beginning, he had to find within him to let go, because he could only do so much. He didn't have anything in control. The only thing he had in control was letting go, and then sorting out his life from there on, while he was in prison, which was maybe to focus on writing storybooks or whatever he was getting up to. But he was getting up to very productive things. So that in itself, that's how you let a negative thought loop go. You don't have to get stuck on things for too long. You have to learn how to let go of certain feelings, um, certain relationships, certain businesses, certain career opportunities. Yes. So if a person is facing the risk of losing it all, they can go, and also you can. So people often come up with kinds of excuses like, nah, they say it's easier said than done. But hey, letting go is not easy, no? So no one said it's gonna be easy. So breaking a negative thought loop as well is not an easy thing. So we all have our own challenges in life and our own obstacles. Sometimes people convince others that, yeah, they're really having a hard time, wara wara, but hey, honestly, no one cares, bro. No one cares. You need to let go of yourself. Nobody will come and tell you, yo, you need to let go. Whatever. You make the last choice to let go. So if you are stuck inside a negative thought loop, guys, know that you only have two options. It's either you continue thinking about it and you let it eat you slowly until, I don't know, or you let go and move on. It's that simple. The choice is yours. And yes, it's that simple. Elia, Ubozo. So we're gonna have to end it here. I apologize for the bloopers here and there, but hey man, I only take one shot on this thing, so I hope you found this video very informative. And if you found it informative and you're new to this channel, please give it some thumbs up. And again, I hope you learned something. Elia, Ubozo, you must have a great week. Cheers.